Hello, all of you reductive reptilian rejects. I'm Eliza Pancakes, and I'm here hosting another edition of What's in the Fucking Bag. So please, by all means, stay tuned, and certainly don't change the channel to something more important, like a documentary on mold buildup. Because I'm sure that certainly wouldn't be more interesting than this lame-ass interview that I'm about to conduct. Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of What's in the Bag. Today I'm interviewing Eliminated Queen, Parsley. Parsley, some words. Well, Eliza, I don't care what those other girls say. You're the nicest judge to ever sit at the panel. The others are just fucking jealous because you tell it how it is. Oh, thanks. Yeah, nice attempt at buttering him up, Greenie. But I'm still gonna let you know that you probably should have gone home several episodes ago. So let's talk about that. Why do you think you were allowed to stay so long in the competition when you weren't deserving of it? Well, Eliza, that's actually just a matter of opinion. I think I stayed as long as someone like me probably would have stayed in a competition that was so fucking blatantly rigged from the onset. And, of course, by someone like you, you're not actually meaning, crude, rude, gross, abominable, unsociable, mean, unlikable, nasty, revolting, and green in every which way. No, you're probably going to talk about how you're a victim and how you were given an unfair edit. Am I right? Listen, bitch, Parsley is not a victim. I don't play that game. But I absolutely was given a shit edit because production is a bunch of monkeys in a workroom who don't know star quality when it's right in front of them. So we're doubling down on the victim narrative. Got it. So moving on, you were eliminated in episode 6, the Reading is Fundamental Challenge, and I've got to say, this, aside from probably the talent show, is probably your absolute fucking worst episode ever. I mean, your reading mini challenge was, not good.
All you guys are sluts. Now I'm watching all the filth.
What's the point in wasting brain cells and precious airtime on trying to read those fucking bitches when they wouldn't even understand the jokes in the first place? You tell me, Eliza. Well, I mean, your runway wasn't half bad for the book launch, but you did end up winding in the bottom because, you did the bare minimum effort. You basically tried strong-arming the judges into buying your book. You didn't really talk about your book. It was very, very shoddy. In fact, honestly, if it was up to me, you just would have gone home. We would have skipped the lip sync. We'd have just sent you home. That's if it were up to me. Well, Eliza, if it were up to me, I would have just canceled the entire fucking contest and crowned myself queen, because there's no point in getting out of bed, throwing on some pumps and a wig, just to march around on stage in front of some wannabe fashion judges to promote their conceived notion of beauty, because it's bullshit. Well, Parsley, I agree that there's different, opinions about beauty and everything's subjective, blah, blah, blah. I think it's universally accepted that your personality is dark and evil and ugly, and it scares people. So even if you were the most beautiful queen in the world, which you have every, potential there, even with a gross color like green, it's just your personality sucks, and people think you're an asshole. An offensive asshole. Listen, Eliza, I didn't fly all the way out here just so I could sit here and be given the 3rd degree. Now, are we gonna talk about my fucking wardrobe I would have worn for the show? Or are you gonna keep peddling out fake pop culture psychobabble bullshit, Dr. Phil? I'm actually glad you said that, so let's talk about these dresses. Of course, they're all fucking green, just like you. So let's talk about this one. This one looks like it's meant for winter attire, so I'm assuming it was obviously for the Frozen Fantasy, which of course you were kicked out before that happened. Let's talk about this. Lots of green here. Parsley, tons of fucking green. I don't think you missed any bit. Well, Eliza, as you know, I love the color green, obviously. And this look was for if it was snowing outside and I needed to throw something quick and cute together in order to go out and, check the mail or flirt with the paperboy. Really? It kind of just looks like, typical snow attire. I mean, I saw some of the other queens' looks for Frozen Fantasy, and this... I think you would have been in the bottom, if I'm being honest. That's just your opinion, Eliza. Yeah, it is my opinion, Parsley, and as a former judge, I think I have a little bit more ground to, say things. So, whatever. Anyway, contrary to popular belief, Parsley can do snow. I fucking love wintertime and the snow. Because as we all know, green things like vegetables and canned peas, all those things get frozen eventually. So the color green and snow go together like stink on shit. Oh wow, Parsley, that is such a wonderfully poignant and all over apropos analogy for your entire fucking look setup. Like stink on shit. I couldn't agree more. Now let's move on to the next dress. Now this one here, I'm not entirely sure what the concept is. Obviously it's fucking green because everything you wear is green. It doesn't look like something would be worn for Masquerade or Frozen Fantasy. I'm stumped here. Give me a clue, Parsley. Well, Eliza, I actually was gonna wear this for the Masquerade. Really? Well, I don't see a mask. I didn't have time to do the mask, Eliza. Oh, another excuse. Well, you probably would have been the bottom for this one. I got everything else. The stockings, the heels, the dress. It's all on point. I just, I'm looking at it, Parsley, and it doesn't scream, oh, I'm on point. Because I remember that episode. I know it's not out yet, but most of the other girls knew what they were doing. They had elegant, garish dresses, along with their Venetian masks, and this does not look like something anyone would wear coupled with that event. I mean, it looks like you misunderstood the assignment. Again. I most certainly did not misunderstood the assignment, Eliza. I have seen Eyes Wide Shut and all those other horror thriller movies, and I was inspired by that Laura Branigan music video, so don't fucking tell me what I would or wouldn't wear, because that is exactly the type of outfit I would have worn with that Venetian mask, and I would have blown the judges away. That's the Parsley way. Yeah, and that's exactly why you'd have wound up in the bottom and lost the challenge and been sent the fuck home 100%. So maybe the Parsley way isn't the way for you. Parsley, did you ever consider that? Like maybe you should be practicing the Darren Leak way. Your drag mother who, I don't know, for whatever reason, got you involved in drag because clearly you don't fucking understand how it works. Don't condescend down to me, you fucking slut. Let's move on to the last dress. Moving on, here is the last fucking dress. Now this, compared to this, is what I could see you wearing for the Masquerade Challenge, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's not that bad. I actually don't hate this one. If you wore this, coupled with a nice Venetian mask, which I'm assuming would also have been green, you fucking know it would. You probably would have not been in the bottom. I mean, the look is on point, the gloves are on point, the bracelet, the necklace, I'm envisioning the mask. What would you have done for the hair? I probably would have worn it either in a bun or a beehive. Something classy. You know, something that Mrs. Kennedy would have worn when she was greeting her audience. What about these other two? What about the hair for those ones? This one I would have worn my hair loose and frizzy and free. Yeah, so with the mask, that would have sent you home. Because that was definitely a classy challenge, something even formal, conservative. And what about this one? I would have worn this one loose and long, kind of like a Nancy Landgraf type of look. Oh, so you basically would have been a green Karen. Interesting. So let's talk about your snatch game. I know that was the episode before last, before you got eliminated, and rightfully so. You chose to be Baby Ariel, and even though I think your portrayal was spot on, because I don't know who the fuck she is, a lot of people weren't thrilled with your portrayal, and the judges weren't, which is, you know, I mean, you weren't in the bottom. I don't know why, but who else would you have done if not Baby Ariel? Let's talk about that. Oh God, Eliza, I could have portrayed so many different people. Well, let's see, there's Cher, there's Madonna, there's Britney Spears, Angela Lansbury, that bitch from Downton Abbey. I could have been anybody. I chose Baby Ariel because she's easy to impersonate. And obviously, it was a character that required very little effort or talent to pull off, considering how she got into the fucking game. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced. I just don't see how you could have done any character justice and would have not wound up in the bottom. I think it was just a freak of nature that you wound up safe while Galaxia was in the bottom and, you know, Fortuna Cookie got sent home. I think it was just because she was that much more terrible than you. So, yeah, let's go back to that dress. Where would you have worn this outfit? Would this have been for the finale, Masquerade? We already discussed this would have been perfect for Masquerade. I'm assuming you would have worn it for the finale. Yes, Eliza, I would have worn this for my finale dress because it screams royalty, which is the third part of that fucking 3-in-1 runway fiasco. Well, I was going to say it's not ravishing in red and it doesn't look like fun and flirty, so I guess maybe royalty, like maybe your opinion of royalty. I still think it would have been better for Masquerade, in my opinion. Well, Eliza, that's all it is. It's just your fucking opinion. And it's a good thing you were kicked off the show a lot long ago, so I didn't have to hear any more of your shoddy fucking opinions. Oh, I've got tons of opinions. Like, here's another one for free. Maybe, instead of smoking all the time, you could focus on breathing air. You live in Evergreen Harbor. It's supposed to be green there. So why don't you start breathing in some clean air and do some vocal exercises, and maybe your voice won't sound so fucking strained every time someone talks to you. That's an idea. Where's the bathroom? I need to go take a shit. Or I'd rather sit on the crapper and try to shit than continue this conversation. Well, I think it's time to call this dumpster fire of an interview a wrap, so join me next time as I unwind with a box of wine and gossip about boys with President Vladimir Putin.